so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our first batch of kombucha. We have tea already made from this morning that's been cooling. We're gonna fish out our tea bags and our hibiscus flowers. You won't be able to get all of the hibiscus flowers out, so you're gonna have to strain it again. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our strainer on. This is great to do in the sink because you tend to make a mess.
Do you want me to help you?
No.
Okay.
I got it. Oh, I've done this so many times. And don't be alarmed if your tea doesn't seem very red. That tea develops its color as it ferments. Okay. Until I didn't bring this with oil. Okay, so there we go. So our tea is in there. We're good to go. And now we're going to put in we're going to use our 1 cup, and I'm going to get some extra starter. This is going to be kind of strange, but this will be your starter. You need a starter jar. And this will be like any leftover kombucha that's at the bottom of the bottle, or maybe had one that you didn't like. You want to keep it because it's starter. So always remember that if you have a really bad batch, not all is lost. Just put it aside and use it as starter. So this is my kombucha starter jar. I got this from Goodwill. You know, just look for things like this that are glass, that have some kind of lid. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a 1/2 cup of this. And also I wanted to let you know, you will constantly, this stuff you can't kill, okay? This was just plain kombucha and it started making all these scobies. So you'll have a really hard time killing this stuff, which is a blessing.
And Starla, you can't store anything in plastic, correct? It
Right.
has to be
glass. Yeah, you want glass. So this is about a 1/2 cup of starter.
That's it?
That's it, 1/2 cup of starter. And then you want to take one of these scobies.
Hold it up.
These are active scobies. And we've got some major fermentation going on there.
Looks like ham.
It looks like a slice of ham.
And, you know, I wanted to let you guys know, these are lovely. These right here are very nice and cultivated. I want to say that scobies love anything that's berry. Blueberry, raspberry, they really love raspberry. They'll grow really nice. Okay, so we've made 1 batch. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the whole process. Get yourself your cotton.
And why does it need to be cotton so that
It can breathe. And I want to give a note too. I'm going to come back to that. Your rubber bands. I got Scotch tape off the bargain bin. Just save money if you
make a
can.
penny squeal?
Right. You want to date it. Today is March the 11th. What I like to do is I like to say what day it was as well. Wednesday. Because when you've got a bunch of kombucha going, you want to know what day you did it, because from 7 days from now,
Next one.
I'm going to pour it up. Okay, so Wednesday. And what kind is this? We've got,
Red, white, and blueberry.
well,
Or-
this is the Bavarian.
Oh.
Bavarian berry. Okay, then you can make, again, all of this is just leftovers. There you go. Then you want to take this, you'll put this in a warm place. And since we live in a trailer, it's kind of like, and sometimes in this wintertime it's hard to keep an even temperature everywhere. So I always keep my kombucha on top of the refrigerator and cover it with a clean towel. So we'll put this up on top of the refrigerator, and 7 to 10 days from now, we will pour it up. And now we're going to go through the pouring up process.
I have a question.
Yes.
About the 7 to 10 day
Yes.
period. 3 days difference, does it make a huge difference?
It doesn't always make a difference. Honestly, what it is some, like, the scobe will respond to different teas differently. Like, for some reason, scobies don't respond to peach that well. You won't get a very fat scoby. You won't get a nice patty on top. You'll get a patty, it'll be kind of thin, sometimes so flimsy you think, okay, I don't even know what this is. It doesn't matter, it's fermented, you go on. But 7 to 10 days, I like to give that to people because sometimes you have something happen and you can't get it bottled that 7th day.
So there's a 3-day grace period.
Yeah, you get a grace period. Like, for instance, some people's homes, like Shanna's home in Louisiana, she has central air. She's got 2 air conditioning units, and her house is very cold. So she's left some of her kombucha for like 20 days. But that depends on, kombucha responds to temperature. If we have a huge temperature change, it will respond to that. It's a living thing, just like you are. It responds to temperature change. And so you want it in a warm spot. And also, I know this sounds kind of crazy, but a happy home makes for happy fermented things. If there's a lot of chaos and anger and fighting, forget it. You're not going to have anything live. It won't live. These things are living things, and they respond.
Of the hormones you put off.
Yeah, they just respond to how you are living your life. They will respond likewise.
I have another question.
Sure.
You said a patty on top. Now, is that SCOBY going to rise to the top and create...
No, this patty will stay there. And don't worry if the SCOBY sinks or floats. It doesn't matter, okay? Sometimes they fall to the bottom. Sometimes they stay at the top. Sometimes they're somewhere in the middle. Don't worry about that. What will happen is this SCOBY will create a baby SCOBY on top, a culture. But in some weather, the child or the baby SCOBY will be much larger than the bottom mother SCOBY.
And that will grow a baby in 7 to 10 days?
Yes, yes. These were 7 days. Okay?
What? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I want to remind you guys of this too, because what most people do when this happens is they totally freak out. In the summertime, you will get gnats in your SCOBY jars where you keep your babies. I have 3 gallons of these things. You will get gnats in them, and the first time it'll happen, it'll gross you out. But you have to remember something. Gnats only live on good living things. Like, okay? So all you need to do is lift up your top patty or your second patty underneath and just throw those in the compost, because the gnats will try to get in there and you'll freak out because you think, oh my gosh, this is not bananas.